Goalie tonight?
Burst.
And same lineup for you?
Same lineup.
You talked a little bit about Andre, and when his first game, you had a correction for him, and he was able to apply it and stuff like that.
Kuzi you're talking about, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. When you get new players like that, and I know Danny's talked about finding some guys that maybe need a change of scenery, can you find that in some guys that maybe weren't asked to do things like that they are being asked here, that brings out an aspect of their game you haven't seen?
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to coach them. It's not a multi-year contract we have. It's kind of an audition, both for us and him. He may not like it here.
Right.
So it goes either way. So for me, seems like a really good kid. You can see his talent. We're going to coach him. We're going to, again, I'm just trying to get a feel of him right now. You can see some of his skill. I think he'll help our power play in the bumper position because I think he sees the play without the puck. But we're an open book. We're going to give him an opportunity to play, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
You have two lines that seem to be really running well right now. What kind of luxury is that for you to have two lines to use at any moment?
Yeah, I think everybody's contributed. Lotz's line, they had some chances, but they just haven't been on the score sheet the past couple of games. For us to score 6 goals in 2 games, it doesn't happen that often. So hopefully, for me, it's not a luxury for me. Hopefully it just gives them more confidence and they keep on going with it and try to sustain it. I mean, I don't expect our team to be scoring 6 every night. I just want us creating offense and guys feeling good about themselves.
You've stayed with the Cates line for a really long time now. And, you're not to make changes and put things in a blender a little bit. Why did you keep them together, even though maybe they weren't getting the points on the board?
You guys remember the ones that make the big deal about the blender and all that, but I keep them together because I think they're effective. Even though they weren't scoring for a couple of weeks, some of the checking they've done and some of the offensive zone time, as far as how they are so connected and so close together offensively, I wasn't breaking them up. There was a couple of games, I forget when it was, I just tried to shake things up because we were stale. But that line's been good for us for a long time.
And obviously the Couturier line now, having Couturier between Michkov and Tippett. You said you liked Michkov and Tippett together for a long time, but why do you think Couturier has kind of been the key to that?
Well, I think Coots has been, he comes and goes. I think it's been one of those years for him. Right now, I think he feels comfortable. I think the break probably helped him. How he goes is where I put him. And I think he's given that line a good center understanding what it is to do without the puck. He spent some time on the bench with Mish in between shifts when Mish had some struggles away from the puck. I think that's going to be really healthy for Mish. So I hope it keeps going. So I always say, you try to ride momentum as much as you can. I hope we can keep going offensively and have some consistency within our lines.
How good is that for you to have? I think it was after Cates scored one of his goals, I looked at the bench and you were talking to Sean to show Matt Vey something on the iPad. I mean,
Yes.
how important is it to have that, to have not only him able to communicate with him, but to have someone like Sean Couturier, who's such a veteran and has been around for so long, to do that?
It's part of his. I think it's part of his responsibility. In fact, I was going to talk to Mish. I think it was another time, and Coots just kind of shoved up my leg and said, "I got him." And I think when a team is going to win and compete in the playoffs and be successful in the playoffs, the coach can't be in the room. It's got to be taken over by the players, and hopefully, little by little, we'll get there. As far as I think players listen better to their teammates than the coach. I think they have to listen to the coach. I think that when a teammate says something, I think it sinks in even better.
I think you guys certainly felt like that break was needed, and we've seen the opposite too.
You're killing me with this phone, man. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's okay.
We've seen the opposite too. We've seen this team. We've seen the team playing together pretty well, and then they get to a break, and it's like you don't want the break. You want to keep playing because you don't want to stop, and then they come back and they're not the same. Do you guys ever anticipate that as a coaching staff when you're looking at the schedule and saying, okay, this one's going to be tough, but on the other side we've got an opportunity here for a refresher?
You know what? You can look at that stuff a lot of different ways. The schedule is the schedule.
Yeah.
We got a lot of other things to worry about and be concerned about than the NHL schedule. Everybody has good parts of the schedule, bad parts, and you can pick it apart 10 different ways. I don't get too involved in it. We get ready to play each and every game and try to do the best we can.
Do you kind of look ahead a little bit, though? Because you are playing teams that are
No.
pretty much teams that are fighting you for that last playoff
No,
spot.
I know we have Winnipeg after this, and then from there, I know home for a couple of weeks. I really don't know what the teams are. Yeah, I don't look too far ahead.
How much does your offense come from your defense, would you say? I mean, is it a measurable thing for you to kind of get an idea of how much that?
Oh, sure. We're a team that does a lot off the rush in transition, and like we tried to explain to our players when we're talking about playing away from the puck, how if we're strict there and we're consistent there, you get so much more offense out of it. So our defense transitioning and trying to play fast, our reloading as far as our forwards coming back so our D can step up in the neutral zone, that's a big part of offense. And I think our guys have done a pretty good job of that. There's one guy that we've worked with quite a bit this year in Drysdale, and trying to get him understand how to, set his route. I think defensemen think they have to skate backwards all the time. We're trying to get our defensemen to skate forward to try to close the neutral zone off. We don't have to skate backwards, and it's been a process with him. But I think little by little he's improving that. And he was a big part of our offense the other night in transition.
How do you explain getting 20 shots in one game before the break and then getting 38 the next against this team? It's just weird how the two games.
Yeah, I don't even think about it. There are a lot of things there's no sense even thinking about. It just happens. And there are other things that I think I can touch upon than worrying about the NHL and some of that goes on from game to game.